Hello and welcome to Metal Vice, a podcast where we talk about all things music.
Well, the things we care about.
That's right, which is mainly metal music and live music. I'm your host, Brian, joining the other host,
Karen.
And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can tell it's another boat episode because we saw...
Fit For An Autopsy.
There we go, Fit For An Autopsy, which we saw in the first year on the first Headbangers Boat, which we were talking about beforehand, before going to this show. I kind of don't remember seeing them on the boat.
Yeah, we even went to their Instagram to look up their posts from the boat because we're like, we don't really remember them.
I know we saw them. I know I enjoyed it because I enjoyed everybody that year.
I feel like we saw them.
I enjoyed everybody every year we've been.
Yeah, I feel like we saw them in Spinnaker's.
Sure.
So.
Or the Atrium, or I don't know where the fuck.
No, I don't think we're at the Atrium show, but I think it was in Spinnaker's.
So we definitely saw them.
We have a vlog if you want to watch it.
We do have a vlog if I want to watch it. But yeah, so I was like, all right, we'll go and see if it jogs my memory, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit because this is not actually their show we went to go see. I mean, it was their show.
Yeah, they were playing.
The headliner though was Arch Enemy. With, as we said, Fit For An Autopsy, Baest,
yeah,
Baest, and then Thrown Into Exile.
I feel like we've seen Thrown Into Exile before.
I do not think we have.
Okay.
This was at the Vic on Tuesday, April 19th, the day after Nick Cave.
April 29th.
That's the one, April 29th. Our spreadsheet says time was at 7. It got changed like the day before. We got an email saying it changed to 6:30 was when the show would start. Doors at 6, which that's fucking weird to start half an hour after doors.
I think they just knew that there wasn't it wasn't sold out or anything. So
it definitely was not sold out, which we'll talk about that as well here in a second. Pricing though, real quick before getting into all of that, was $39. Fees of $15.93. And a whopping 3 pennies for tax. That fee rate, though, holy fuck, 40%.
Yeah, but you said that the fee rate is due to tickets.
That's true. We did get physical tickets, so we were able to walk up to the ticket window and get physical tickets because the AXS still gives out physical tickets.
She did ask us, did somebody put you on the list? And I said, I wish.
I've never been asked that at an actual show. Well, not an actual show, but like at a show.
Like at a show, yeah. Yeah.
And not even
We've only been put on the list once, and that's because we were working.
Yes.
We were helping,
we
not working.
Yes.
We were not working. We were just helping wherever we were needed.
Our friends with Mega Ballad.
Yes, yeah.
And we went to help, and they put us on the list. So that was awesome.
But our names were not there until you wrote them in.
Yeah. So I guess that's not bad then, really, when you think about it, because it was $3 per ticket. So $3 of that was from
a physical ticket.
Getting a physical ticket. So let's actually take that out and see what happens.
Yeah, do you have to do that right now on this podcast?
I sure do. That's not too bad. It drops it down to like 37% for fee rate, which still high, but whatever. It's not horrible. And I think that time change really kind of screwed things over for us, at least, because I wasn't expecting to be a half hour earlier, which whatever, it happens. But I worked late because I had a thing I was trying to get done before, heading off to the show. We went up there, we got food. And we ended up missing the first half of Thrown Into Exile's set.
Yeah.
A little bit.
It wasn't that much of it, but...
It wasn't. I mean, let's get in their set then a little bit here. Why don't you read off their set list for us?
They started with The Forsaken, Caskets Beyond Creation, Desolation, Eternal Nothingness. They ended with You've Fallen So Far.
So only 5 tracks, but at the same time, they're the first opener of 4.
Yeah. Wait, did they play 6 tracks, but one was a new song?
So I think Eternal Nothingness is the new song.
One? Okay.
So I tried to add that to the set list that we have, our playlist we have, and I couldn't find it.
Okay.
So they only have 2 albums out, I think.
Oh, okay.
So they haven't been around a whole long time. I really enjoyed the little bit of the set we did see.
Yeah.
I wish we would have seen all of it, but whatever. It is what it is.
No, I enjoyed it too, and I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, it kind of sucks that we were late, but we kind of knew that we were going to be late.
Yeah, definitely after I stayed at work too long, we definitely knew we were going to be late and kind of miss it, which was a little disappointing for me. I think I was a little upset with myself more than anything for that. But whatever, it is what it is. It happens from time to time, right? Like we have been late to other shows before too, and it's been frustrating, but you know what? Life goes on. The next show's always around the corner type thing. I really love their performance. I love their stage presence. the sound on stage as well. The crowd was getting into it a little bit that we were there for, right? So
I thought you were going to say the little bit of crowd that was there.
also that.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't packed.
No.
Or like full.
I did listen to this on Spotify after adding it to our playlist, and I didn't enjoy it as much as I did the live version of the songs.
It's a little core aspect. If
I just get that. I got more thrashy.
Okay.
From the little bit we saw, listening to it, it's kind of more deathy.
Okay.
But thrash and death metal sort of
they
meld together and whatnot. I could see maybe deathcore-ish, maybe, but I definitely got a lot of fucking thrash in it. Also, though, I was listening to it today as I worked, so I wasn't actively listening to it by any means. So if I, were in that more of an active listening sort of mindset, it would be different, I think. But live was definitely phenomenal. Their live set was so fucking good, and like I said, their energy on the stage was so fucking good.
I agree. Yeah, no, I enjoyed the set a lot.
And this is like, I definitely want to see these guys again. So I'll keep an eye out for them. Pretty quick for me for thoughts on the show, mainly because, we only saw, I think, like 3 songs, the last 3.
Maybe. Yeah, we walked in during 1 and then maybe the last couple songs.
I think so. And again, this is off of Setlist FM from the Minneapolis show. So there could have been like a couple other songs that weren't on here. Yeah. But whatever, this is what's on there. And I don't know. I'm going to take it for what it is.
Yeah.
Great fucking band. I loved it. I can't wait to see them again and have more sort of thoughts and whatnot. But then getting into the second band, Baest.
I think since we saw the announcement for this, in my head, I was always reading it as Beast and not Baest.
The dyslexic in me has always seen Beast.
Yeah.
And even looking at the name now, I struggle with this name. Just looking at it, like it's fucking with my head, looking at it and trying to like say the word Baest. And they even said it a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't like the name. They are Finnish or something like that?
No, from Denmark.
Danish. Okay. Yeah, somewhere up in that region for sure. So I don't know. Maybe it is an actual word that means something up there. I don't even know what Baest. I mean, like Baest to Turkey or something.
That's not how you spell it.
That's not how you spell it?
Baste.
See, yeah, this is fucking with my head still. Like whatever. Fuck that. Their logo though was sick as fuck. I liked their logo so much. Do you remember the way it looked?
Because it's like death metal like look with
so like the B and then you have the A, which,
it's like all together,
which is like sort of an anarchy type A where the A, like the capital A with the line goes through it a little bit.
Yeah, it's all connected,
which becomes the middle dash of the capital E, which goes into the S, which goes into the T, which sort of wraps around. It reminded me a lot of like the Obituary logo where it sort of makes a circle with the letters, like the B starting one side of the circle and the T starting the other side of the circle.
Oh, so yeah. It all comes together.
It reminded me so much of the Obituary logo.
According to Google AI, Baest is a Danish word describing something that is wild, aggressive, or cruel.
That fucking fits perfectly for them. For the music, anyway.
For example, the name of the death metal band, Baest, was originally spelled with the amulet, reflecting the Danish word Baest.
Umlaut?
Oh, is that how you say that? Not amulet?
I think umlaut is the word you're thinking of.
I think you're right. Yeah.
I like amulet a little better. Okay. Yeah, I don't like it. It's fucking with my dyslexic brain for sure, and it's uncomfortable for me to look at it, in all honesty.
But it's not English, so...
Sure. It's still fucking with my head a lot. But the logo, I fucking love.
Yeah.
It's perfect. Like, I can find every letter. I can figure it all out. Fucking love the logo. But yeah, they also played songs, and Karen's going to read off what songs they played for us.
They played Genesis, Colossus, Misfortunate Son, Gargoyles, and they ended with Necro Sapiens.
So another 5-track set. Again, the second opener of 4 bands, but also their songs are pretty long, like 5, average 5 to 6 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that range. I liked them a lot as well.
I liked them a lot. They were so much fun.
They were so much fun. Like, I don't know.
The death metal really came out of it. And kind of like when I was telling you about 200 stab wounds, I said it right, 200 stab wounds, like the proper death metal, like I feel like Baest was a proper death metal.
Yeah. So much fucking energy on stage. Really fucking cool band. The sound was great. I love the death metal aspect.
But they can be at Milwaukee Metal Fest.
Not aspect. I love the death metal sound. I like the little aspects of death metal they sprinkled into
just those little bits.
Into the poppy notes in between. No, I love their fucking set. It was great. And then putting these songs on the set list, getting to Misfortunate Son, I thought that was it made me smile because CCR Fortunate Son is what it made me think of.
Oh, yeah.
So I need to listen to this track more closely compared to Fortunate Son, see if they're sort of like just, I don't think they are, but to me it'd be funny if they're making fun of Fortunate Son for sure. Also, they like just like Thrown for Exile, I think both of them asked for a circle pit, but they realized you can't really do that at the Vic.
Yeah.
So if you haven't been to the Vic, like the floor is like 4 or 5 stepped down sort of platforms. So you start at the back with your highest platform sort of. There's a metal bar. There's like 2 or 3 steps to go down to the next level. Drops you down like 3 feet or so. Then the next one and the next one and so on until you get to the main
like
floor.
4, right?
Yeah,
4
I think
levels?
there are like 4 levels.
For some reason, I was always picturing it as just 3 levels, but I think there's 4.
Which I don't know. That's one part of this particular venue, and even like the Riviera, who are owned by the same people, I think are the same setups with that sort of step down thing, which is it's a little annoying, honestly, but also kind of cool because if you don't get there right away and you're on like the second or third platform, you can now see the stage still. Like it does help, especially for shorter people like you, to like stand in the back and look over the tops of everybody.
Yeah.
So that aspect of it is kind of cool. But it is also really weird to have sort of that step down feature and whatnot, right? I still really love this venue, like the old school rundown aspect. But I think you even pointed out, and the last time we were there, they remodeled the bathrooms in the basement.
Yeah, either the last time or 2 times ago, but yeah.
I can't remember what the last show we saw there. It's been a long time since we've been back to the Vic.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a long time.
I've always loved the Vic. It's always been one of my favorite venues for sure.
I think not Powerwolf. Is it Powerwolf?
See, I can't remember. See, I get this and Riviera mixed.
I know, I
do
do
very
too.
similar, just one's larger than the other.
I think Powerwolf was at Riviera.
I think they were. But this, you pointed out this time, like, oh, they have fresh paint on the walls. They've repainted everything.
Yeah, because everything's not peeling and like cracking and stuff. So it looks really nice.
It does. It gives
like a very, very nice redone look.
Yes.
It's not like remodeled or anything. They kept all the old architecture and all that. And
the facade and everything around it.
They just freshened it up.
Which it still has that sort of dingy, rundown sort of feel to it, but not as much. But also, like, maybe the dingy, rundown aspect isn't what I'm thinking of. Maybe like the old venue feel.
Yeah.
Like it definitely, it still has that sort of, this is a venue from the 20s or 30s or 40s even, right? Like this is an old venue. You can tell by walking in, but it is clean. It is nice. It is a really cool venue. So when they asked for a circle pit, I was like, I mean, you can do it. Like if Shadows Fall can do it on the boat in the lounge. I thought
the same thing. I was like, why? So I think it was actually during Fit For An Autopsy. They were like, let's get the biggest circle pit. And I'm like, why didn't you go around up the stairs?
I thought that. So you have stage left, stage right, and then right. So you have stage right platforms, stage left platforms, and you have like the center platform. And there's a staircase on either side of the center that takes you down to the next one, right? And on the wings of those 2, stage right, stage left, all the way against the wall, there are what I used to call the super secret passageway. It's basically an ADA accessible ramp on either side that just takes you straight down. They did have people down there not letting you like walk those, so you weren't supposed to. But I bet if the band said run up those, all the way behind the sound stage, and then run back down, that would have been a sick fucking circle pit to see.
I wasn't thinking use those. I was thinking go to the second level and use the stairs.
See, that's what I was thinking too. But then you have the stairs that you have to jump down, which you could trip and fall. The runways, though, the ramps, those are much safer. You don't have to go down the steps and whatnot.
Yeah.
Those would have been a lot safer.
Yeah.
Also, it would have been bigger and cooler. I may have joined the circle pit then.
If you ran like that.
If they ran like that. I hate fucking circle pits. I think they're the dumbest fucking thing ever. Well, the hardcore Karate Kid pits, I hate those. Then it's circle pits are the worst after that. It's just like, why am I running laps? Why are you making me run laps? I didn't do that in high school. I'm not going to fucking do it now as an adult. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I feel like we were just at Paleface and he even mentioned like, just run some laps.
Oh, we didn't bring that up during that episode because he's like, we care about your cardio. We want you to be healthy. So let's run some fucking laps.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, we didn't bring that up during that podcast, but that was funny.
That was funny. I like that.
But it was either Baest or it was Fit For An Autopsy. I apologize. I can't remember who it was. But they made a comment of, give me the best circle pit you can for the space you're in.
Yes, like, they did say that.
They realized that it was
and I
a
think
small area.
All of the bands, except for Arch Enemy, also has For a Wall of Death.
Oh, they did? Even the earlier bands?
I think so. I can't remember what one. The one. I think it was
Thrown Into Exile.
We're like, split this floor, and nobody split. And we were really hoping that every level up would split as well. Like, we even moved over for it.
The floor split.
Yeah.
They didn't come back together.
They did not. Yeah.
And I was even back there. We were on like the second or third level. I don't know. But like I was in the back like going, okay, now you got to like, do you know what a wall of death is? Because now you need to come back together.
He did say when this song kicks in, and to their defense, maybe they don't know. It hadn't kicked in just yet. Because they eventually did end up collapsing in.
Yeah.
It was just a little bit slower than you had expected. And even me too, to be honest. But when he started singing, that's when the pit collapsed in.
Yeah. Oh, no. It was after he started singing.
But I was also hoping people on every step
level
would split as well. But nobody on the railing that we were up there they didn't split.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
That would have been cool. All in all, Baest outside of the name printed out that I don't like too much to look at. The logo was great. Their sound was fucking great. Their energy was great. I had a blast at the show. Another band I want to see again. Fucking great death metal.
Yeah. I just looked at Milwaukee Metal Fest because I was wondering if they're going to be there, but they're not. Unfortunately. But then we get into Fit For An Autopsy, the boat band. The boat band.
They too played songs that Karen's going to read off for us. Or I could read off. They started with Lower Purpose. Then they had Red Horizon, followed by Warfare. Followed by Warfare, then Hostage, then Pandora. Following that, we got The Sea of Tragic Beasts. See, that's where it's fucking me up. Beast and Baest, like, I wanted to say Baest right there when I read that. Any hoodles. Following The Sea of Tragic Beasts, we have Savior of None, Ashes of All. And then they ended their main set with Far From Heaven.
And by the main set, it's their set.
Very true. They ended their set. Sorry, Karen would have read that off, but earlier in the podcast, she was bitching about how I say the same thing every time, so I read it off this time.
Oh, we're cutting that out, so nobody will know that.
Except for me bitching about you bitching about it. All right, whatever. Getting into Fit For An Autopsy, again, they came on stage and I kind of sort of remembered them from the vote, just from their look.
Okay.
Not their sound. I still don't remember any of their songs. It's not all generic. Like they all like I don't know. It's deathcore. I had fun. I thought their set was great. I enjoyed their set a lot. I can't picture them on the boat. It has been 2.5 years since we saw them on that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's 4 days of music, or 3 days of music, so it's like.
So it all kind of blends together.
Yeah.
Their set, just nothing in particular stands out to me at this time. If I go back and watch the vlog, maybe something would like, oh shit, that's right, they did that. But I don't know.
I really feel like they were on the Spinnaker stage.
Okay.
Around the time I had seasickness, but around the time of Violence. Like I think I slept through Violence, and then it might have been them.
I see. I kind of remember that.
Or I went to see them, and then I slept through Violence. One or the other.
Yeah, I remember Violence at that stage, and there was a band ahead of that, which could be these guys.
Which I think was Fit For An Autopsy, because I wanted to see Fit For An Autopsy, and I think I went down there, and I think I fell asleep during Violence then. I remember I fell asleep during Violence, but
going back to this show, I don't know. I really liked their set. I thought they had a great, again, all night long, all the bands had great sounds, great vibes, like the crowd was really into it. And I don't know, it was great. I had so much fun watching these guys play.
Yeah, at one point, I don't remember what song it was, but they were trying to get 30 crowd surfers.
Oh, right.
Do you know how many they got?
I don't know how they... So there's a part where he's like, let's put these guys to work. You know, the normal bullshit of like getting crowd surfers.
I think is really shitty to do crowd surfing because you get popped up and you're done.
Again, that little platform, like that bottom level platform thing that you're on the main floor. not that big. So if you go up, as you said, you go straight fucking down.
Yeah.
Not like down they dropped you. Like
you're
at
just
the
done.
rail.
Yeah, you're done.
Not a whole lot of room.
Yeah.
Which when they were going through this, I was like, you know what would be really fun if somebody starts all the way back here by the soundstage and then we crowd surf them down over all of these levels. There were definitely not enough people here to do that.
No.
I don't know if anybody's ever done that, but a part of me is like, that'd be really fucking cool to do.
I was like, if the crowd surfing crew was there that was at Trivium, you and three other guys, you guys just would have been sending people.
Let's
like,
go.
Do you want to go? Okay. You don't want to go? Are you sure? Okay, let's send you anyways.
Yeah. We got that down pretty packed right there. That was a good little.
And everybody was coming to you guys too to like do it. So
that was a good little business we had going there.
Yeah. But he called for 30. And they got 13.
Oh, is that all they got?
Yeah, which is kind of a metal number.
Okay. No, it's definitely a metal number, yeah. There were like right when the song started, he's like, I count 6. Let's get to 30.
Yeah.
I didn't count after that.
Oh, I was.
Lost count. Okay, you were counting.
Yeah,
okay.
it was kind of fun.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. Really good crowd banter, really good crowd energy, like I said. But like, I don't know, just their vibe. I don't know. It was a lot of fun. I don't remember them from the boat. I know you've seen them before. I had a blast watching this show. It was so much fun. I definitely want to see these again. And I think after it, you were like, this is a band that when they come to Chicago, I must see.
Yeah, because we were just talking about it a couple nights ago, or like the night before maybe, about how we don't have to go to every single show that comes to Chicago. For the last couple of years, we've been doing that. Like if it looks like metal, sounds like, like kind of seems metalish, we will be there.
We've got newsletters that is like, this band announced this show that's in Chicago. All right, let's throw it on the list of let's go to it. And typically it would be when they go on sale, we'd buy them right away. This year we've done things a little differently.
We have, yep.
We'll talk about that probably at the end of the year, what we think about that.
Yeah, but also financially.
Yeah.
We need to stop just buying every single ticket that's announced.
Yeah. But this is one you would buy every time?
So from that conversation, I was like, but there are the bands that I would want to see if they come to Chicago. And I was like, and I told you, I was like, that list is getting pretty high now. And then after seeing them again, I was like, yeah, this is a band, or like when they come to Chicago again, we will be there. Unless it's House of Blues.
I was going to ask you then, because we have had another conversation as well around House of Blues, how we will go see a show at House of Blues, but we have learned to hate the House of Blues with a fucking passion because they oversell that thing.
Yeah.
It's so oversold. It's uncomfortable to be there. It's just not fun.
Yeah. We're going to do a whole 666 on it.
But
666.
Yeah.
Not 6666.
Yeah. But at some point, there will be a band that will show up here, and we're like, fuck it, we will suffer or be uncomfortable for this show. Like, it's definitely going to happen. Is this one of those bands for you?
Depending on who they're with.
All right, so it's overall. They could be. If they're headlining, or even if they're not headlining, like, it just could be, it all depends on the lineup for you?
Yeah, because, like, I mean, we just went to see Signs of the Swarm there. And that was one that I was, like, going back and forth on before we bought the tickets of, like, I really want to see Signs of the Swarm, but it's at House of Blues. I really want to see Signs of the Swarm, but it's House of Blues.
Whitechapel, too, before that.
Whitechapel, I was like, I'm seeing Whitechapel. It fucking sucks that it's at House of Blues.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, the Whitechapel alone is enough for you to be like, all right, I'm going to go see that.
Yes, 100%.
Fit for an Autopsy, not so much.
Not at this moment.
Okay.
Give me a month of listening to them on repeat, and then I will change my mind.
And I guess that's another good point, right? And I've said this so many times on this podcast, that there's music I go to the show and I love it so much and I want to see more of it, I want to hear more of it. But then when I go back to my day-to-day sort of working, it's not on my rotation. Because I fall back on what I know, what I'm comfortable with, especially when I'm busy at work or stressed or something. Like, I know I'd like this song. I know this song will get me out of this rut I'm in. So I'm going to go to this. So I don't necessarily venture out all that much outside of live music.
Right.
However, after seeing the band 4 or 5 times, that's typically when I like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah.
Amon Amarth, again, I bring this up all the time. Amon Amarth, to me, like, that's the band that did that for me. Saw them open there the first time. Fucking killed it. I love them. I knew Raise Your Horns, like, that song I knew, and I'd listened to that song.
I remember that. I vividly remember that from open air.
Yeah.
Like that song.
But all their other songs, like, I didn't listen to that much. And then we saw them again.
With Arch Enemy.
Was that the next time we saw them?
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Yeah. And I remember, again, Raise Your Horns. And then there's, I think it's The Pursuit of Viking, where he's like, goes in and he's like, Maybe it's not the Pursuit of Viking. See, I don't know their songs that great. I need to know better.
Yeah, like if you're wearing Alma Mars shirt, it's like, could you name 3 songs?
Oh, yeah, fuck that.
I know you don't like it. We don't need to go into that conversation.
So that's another 666 we need to do. We said we'd do that before another episode. We need to do that one.
We will.
But, you know, he comes out there and he's like, Odin, guard our ships, erect your spears and swords. Like that little line, he like has the crowd sing that. And at the very end, he's like, now remember, it's death metal. Nobody knows what the fuck you're saying anyway. So if you don't know the words, it's all fine. Let's go. Like, I don't know. I remember that from that show. But still, even after that, I didn't listen to much Amon Amarth. Now I've seen them like 4 or 5 times, and I'm listening to, they're like on my rotation.
Oh yeah, you're always listening to Amarth.
So, Fit for an Autopsy, saw them on the boat, liked their music then, added them to the set list or playlist then. Just, I don't know, I need to listen to their music more often. So like you said, listening to the music on repeat a lot. Yeah, I think you are better at that than I am for sure.
Yeah. I listen to a large variety of music now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all the same. It's deathcore or metalcore, but I listen to a lot of bands.
All right. So you listen to a lot of bands, but it's really all the same song you're listening to just over and over.
No.
It's not. It's not the same music over and over. And it's all, there's some uniqueness to it. Yes. There's also some definitely cookie cutter aspects to it. Oh, there are,
sure. Like the breakdown's all cookie cutter.
But same thing with nu metal and thrash metal. You can argue that with any subgenre of metal.
Listen to Linkin Park. You know it's a Linkin Park song. Listen to Disturbed. You know it's a Disturbed song. Like yeah.
Once you find your sound and you like stick to it. Chevelle, same thing. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Fit for an Autopsy was fucking awesome.
I'm glad. I'm glad that we got to see them again because I think it did bring it back to me. Like not necessarily the whole performance on the boat because like you were saying, like we kind of forgot about it, but just bringing back to like, oh, I think it was here because I remember XYZ or whatever.
Gotcha.
And I remember the vocalist a lot, and I don't know if that's from the boat, like maybe.
Okay.
I kind of think that he always ate in the buffet.
Okay. And I mean, the artists always do. There's not all of them, but there's a lot of them that always.
But they do have their own restaurant that they can go to.
So we think.
No, it is.
Is their own? Okay.
Yeah, it's like the steak restaurant, the fancy one or whatever. But I feel like I always saw him. Like when he was on stage, I was like, I know him from somewhere, and it has to be the boat because we haven't seen him since. So.
Okay.
Anyways.
But he's also the one that when he came out, I was like, oh, I kind of sort of remember.
Oh, yeah.
And a part of me was like, was he in the Magnum stage beating the top of, or maybe that was Spinnakers, where they took the mic and like hit the top of the roof?
That was Bleed From Within. Yeah. No, I remember that vividly too. Yeah.
And maybe that's where it is, like Bleed From Within and Fit For an Autopsy for me, those performances on the boat.
Did I say Bleed From Within or Bleeding Through?
It's Bleeding Through the first year.
It's Bleed From Within is the first year. That's the one I meant.
Oh, yeah, that's the one you did say. All right.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I get those.
See, it's all melding. Even both years of the boats are melding.
Yeah.
But like Fit for an Autopsy and Bleeding Through. No, Bleed From Within.
Bleed From Within.
God damn it. Those two to me are sort of melding a little bit in my head. And I don't know what, they're not the same. They are different. But again, it's been 2.5 years since we saw that
and
show.
After this year, it'll be 3 boats that we've been on, and it's just going to get worse and worse.
And it's basically the same boat, just different names and slightly different tweaks to the boat, but basically the same. Yeah, I don't know. It was a great performance. All of these openers have had great fucking performances.
Yeah.
It was.
I love when we get like banger openers where it's like they're all fantastic, and it's not like, oh, I wish that one played before this one, or like more than this one. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Like I didn't give a shit which one played where in the set.
Yeah.
Like. In the bill, like they could have flipped any of these around. I would have been perfectly fine. They could have played, one could have played longer, one could have played shorter.
This night we wouldn't have cared.
They brought everything. All the bands did. It was fucking awesome. Also, along those lines, I have said in the past that I like it when there's a diverse lineup in terms of bands and like styles. This was very similar across the board.
Death metal, yeah.
Which, again, I didn't give 2 fucks. Like, it was still fun to do that. It was like a great fucking night. Really, all these openers fucking crushed it. And then we get to Arch Enemy, which was the main reason we were there. Well, we were there for all of them, honestly.
We were there for all of them, yeah. But Arch Enemy, I think, is... We both really wanted to see Arch Enemy.
We did, yes. Yeah. So, Karen's going to read off the songs they played during their set at this show.
They started with Deceiver, Deceiver, Ravenous, Dream Stiller, Blood Dynasty, War Eternal, My Apocalypse, A Million Suns, Liar and Thieves, The Eagle Flies Alone, First Day in Hell, As the Pages Burn, Sunset Over the Empire, Dead Bury Their Dead, We Will Rise, and then their encore was Avalanche, Nemesis, and Fields of Desolation.
Pretty good, pretty solid set, 17 songs.
Pretty long.
Pretty long, yeah.
Yeah, like for a 4-band night, like generally, I shouldn't say that, but a lot of times when we see 4 bands, it's like the headliner plays like 13 to 15 songs. 13?
I'd say 16 is like the average for sure.
Oh, okay.
A good 16. So like this is right
agree
at...
to disagree.
16 for a headliner, I think, to me is normal. So 17, not bad. You're, one above. You're right there at average, basically. I think I had a panic attack before this set even started.
Oh, was it before the set started? Okay.
Yeah, because the set was starting to change over, and we were sitting there just waiting, and like my fucking heart rate, I think, just went through the roof. I just felt like it was pounding nonstop, and I got super fucking hot, and it was toasty.
We both wore long sleeve shirts because the day before was like 79 degrees at 10 o'clock p.m. And this night was going to be like 50 degrees at 10 o'clock p.m.
It was like in the 40s, I think.
Well,
maybe with the real feel and like the wind chill and all that.
Maybe.
It was pretty brisk outside.
It was
for
brisk,
sure.
Yeah. I'm just saying, very different.
Sure. Yes. Very, very different. And I'm gonna go on my like old man soapbox here. I fucking hate April. The weather in April in Chicago is the fucking worst.
As we're recording this, tomorrow is May, so.
Sure, but what the fuck ever. I don't care. Like, bullshit spring. I hate spring. Spring is the worst fucking season of them all because you have the weather that gets up to like the 80s and 70s and whatnot, and then the very next day it drops down to the 30s with fucking snow. Bullshit. I fucking hate April so much.
Okay, let's talk about your panic attack now.
Yeah, so anywho, I was very hot. I didn't know if it was because of my, wearing the long sleeve plus the vest to the show because, I got to wear it to the show. And I was like, I'm going to go out to the lobby to cool down. It's going to be cooler out there. I walked out to the lobby and I just sort of stood there and I felt awkward just standing there. And
I could just see you like walk out and just stand.
Yeah, that's basically all I did. And then you have the bands working their merch stages. I'm like, I don't want to talk to them. Like, I want to go outside, but I can't go outside.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they'd let me back in.
Yeah.
And then you have the 2 guys doing the wristbands for alcohol. So you had people still coming in to the show to get their wristbands for the alcohol. And there's no alcohol for sale out there, I don't think. And I'm just sort of standing there, like just in my orange fucking vest, just standing there, not talking to anyone, not doing anything. So I was like, I feel weird. I do kind of have to go to the bathroom. I'll go back into the main floor, go downstairs to go to the bathroom. Went to the bathroom. As I'm down there going to the bathroom, you hear the crowd cheer.
Oh, okay.
Because the lights must have dimmed or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think somebody walked across the stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe the drummer coming out to their kit. Like that's usually the first person that comes out. And you hear the crowd roar. And there's like the guy in the bathroom who I think is there to like give you mints and paper towels and shit.
Oh, we don't have that.
Women don't have that?
No.
Oh, House of Blues typically has a man like that. They used to.
They haven't done it for a long time.
Okay. And Concord
does,
always has it. Yeah, as you walk in.
Which is awkward because I just walk out with wet hands because I'm like, I'm not going to ask for a paper towel.
Because you kind of feel like you have to tip them type thing.
Yeah.
I just take the paper towels. I don't take a mint because I don't have money to tip, right? And I don't carry cash. So, any hoodles, he's down there. He was down there the first time I went to the bathroom as well. And he's just on his phone, not like paying two shits to anyone. Yeah. So I don't know what the fuck he was doing down there, but sitting in the same spot next to the sinks. And the crowd roars. And he's sitting there on his phone. And all I hear him say is like, oh shit, we're about to start. Like, I was like, what the fuck? And I think he like put headphones, or not headphones, or maybe headphones, earplugs or headphones into his ears as he said that. Yeah. So that was kind of funny to me, made me smile a little bit. But I was still going through, I think my panic attack. And as I walked up the stairs, I felt like I was going to like black out. As I was walking up the stairs, I felt like I was going to throw up as well. Like I was very nauseous. I ended up coming back to you. And we were back by the soundstage, that top platform.
We were like in the 4th layer or whatever.
Yeah. So I just put my hands on the railing and just stood back there. The metal was kind of cool, so that helped cool me down a little bit. I was still sort of like, I felt like I was sweating. It's like just so much sweat. And then the guy next to me starts talking to me about my vest. He's like, I saw your Mastodon patch. What do you think about Brent leaving the band? And just like all of that. Turns out the guy's here for a conference. So he's not from Chicago.
Like what I did when I was in Ireland.
Went to his show. He's going to be here in like next month and going to a show. He's asking me like, what other cool venues are there? Where should I go? I've recommended Talia Hall for sure. I did tell him House of Blues is kind of shit, so try to avoid that. Yeah. But he was there with a bunch of, I guess, conference people because they all did look out of place.
They all had nicer clothes on.
Yeah.
One guy had like a tie and white shirt.
Slacks and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's one woman who was just in like, I guess, business casual type attire.
And she was like standing with them, but not standing with them.
But she was also kind of getting into it, I did see.
Yeah,
like, she was headbanging and singing and whatnot. So she clearly knew the fucking music.
Yeah.
This guy had never seen Arch Enemy, so we're talking a little bit about that. But he's always doing this, talking to me right when the band's about to start.
Yes, I was about ready to turn around and be like,
I know. I was
Yeah.
I was like, we'll let him talk for a little bit. It hasn't actually technically started. We're still going through the intro music or intro noises.
What was the bells? By
They
Metallica?
did. Yep, they did sing "For Whom the Bell Tolls."
Yeah.
And like again, that woman, she was there fucking singing the song, having a blast. And he's just sitting here talking to me about Brent. Gojira's his favorite band. He's coming back. I think he's from Houston. He was in Boston a few weeks ago and met Braun or something, or a while ago. I met Braun out there and talked to him for a bit. He's like, Braun's super fucking nice. Like, he seems like a super chill dude, honestly. So we talked for 2 minutes and I learned all this shit from this guy. But then once the music actually started, he did sort of go off and do his own thing.
That's good.
And I sort of just hung back there, relaxed a little bit, got my like breathing under control. I was just sort of like trying to focus on my breath, breathe in, breathe out type thing. And I think you got a little worried for me because you kept looking at me like, are you okay? Are you okay? And it's like, oh, I'll be fine. Just go do your thing. I'll be fine. Part of me did want to go up to the balcony, which we didn't have seats in the balcony, but it wasn't sold out.
It wasn't. I bet we could have went up
there.
there.
We could have easily gone up there.
Yeah.
Which is what we did for Powerwolf.
Mm-hmm. At Riviera.
I don't know where that was.
I think it was Riviera.
But I honestly didn't think I'd be able to make it up the stairs necessarily. Not that I wouldn't be able to make it. Just if I was going to pass out, I'd rather be on the floor where people could easily get to me other than running upstairs to try to get to me, right? So that was sort of in the back of my mind. As the set went on, I sort of calmed down a little bit, got some water, that helped. We did move back behind the soundstage and sort of leaned on the railing they have there. So that wasn't too bad. It was a kind of cool spot. You could still see the stage and whatnot. You could see the people working the soundstage. It was kind of cool. I really do like watching that sort of aspect of a show that you don't focus on that often. But yeah, the actual set for Arch Enemy for me was sort of
like you don't remember it?
Not that I don't remember. Just it wasn't what I wanted.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know what kicked this off for me. I did notice earlier in the night that they have lights that I don't like.
Oh, yeah. That's what I thought was bugging you, was the lights.
But at the same time, they weren't honestly all that bad for this. There were moments where the lights were pretty bad, where they were like the blaring white light flashing all the time that I hate. But for the vast majority of the set, they weren't that way. Yeah. It was sort of the colored lights or the dimmer sort of lights.
Yeah.
There were moments, like I said, that I hated the fucking lights they had. I hate those lights so much. But they didn't do it constantly, which that did help. So I don't know if that kicked it off. It definitely wasn't crowded. Like it was easy to get out. The last time I had a panic attack at a show was the
Helvetii at the Forge.
Was it Helvetii or was it?
No, it was Helvetii.
Oh, it was. Yours was
Machine Head.
Machine Head. Okay. Yeah, Helvetii.
We're talking about all our panic attacks
at the Forge.
At the Forge.
No, that Helvetii show was just so crowded, and we were getting pushed against the wall, and it was very compact, and maybe that's what kicked it off for me there. This wasn't. Like, we could have easily moved wherever we wanted. So I don't know what it was that was the trigger.
Things happen.
It does happen, I know, but it was very frustrating for sure.
Yeah.
So it's a little disappointing, but at the same time, we will see Arch Enemy again.
Yeah, in Milwaukee.
Not in a headlining set, because it's going to be a festival show at Milwaukee Metal Fest, but we'll see them again.
Yeah.
Which did sort of lead into our conversation buying tickets for this show, which you wanted to see this show, but you were also like, do we need to buy it?
Well, a couple things out of the buying tickets aspect is we have a lot of shit going on this week.
Yep.
And
the week of this show, which is when we're recording.
We literally saw this yesterday, but we have a lot of shit going on this week. I also, since we're seeing Arch Enemy in May, we saw this April 29th, so we're going to see it at Mocky Metal Fest in May. I was like, do we really need to buy tickets for it? Like, it was one of those things of, again, saving money, trying to save money.
We've seen them before. We'll see them again.
Yeah.
Literally, we'll see them again.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's where my whole thing going back and forth was. And then we decided last minute that we were going to go see it. Like a couple days before this.
Honestly, it might have been Fit For An Autopsy. That was the final sort of nail in that coffin of... Yeah. Like, are we going to go? Are we not going to go? We were hemming and hawing and whatnot. I was definitely on, like, I want to go if we can. But then once it was Fit For An Autopsy, it's like, oh, I could knock another one of the Baest off. Because I do want to see all of these bands on this Baest outside of the boat. And I think we just have a handful left. Yeah. Testament, Lacuna Coil, Shadows Fall, and maybe God Forbid.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, God Forbid. So maybe only like 4 left on this Baest that we need to see before I can not retire the Baest, but like then I have seen all of them. Yeah. Which is a goal, to see all of these outside of the boat. Yeah. For me, for sure.
Cool. Can we talk about Arch Enemy now?
I guess we can get into the actual show now. Yes, let's get into the show.
Arch Enemy set, and we just saw them with Behemoth a few years ago, like maybe 3 years ago.
Yeah, 2022, I believe.
Was that at the Vic as well?
It was. Okay. So, yeah, because it's kind of cool. We went up to buy shirts for Arch Enemy and Fit For An Autopsy. And they didn't have any of this tour's shirts in large, but they had another tour shirt in large. I was like, oh, let's get that. I told the guy, already, like, yeah, I'll buy that. And you pointed out, that's from 2022. Did we see them? And I was like, oh, fuck. I already told him, so I'm not going to tell him to put it back, but sure, we'll take it. That was that same tour.
The Behemoth show. Yeah. So I don't know if it has to do with the Vic and the sound at the Vic, or if it's how Alyssa's vocals are set up or what. But at the Behemoth, or the show that we saw in 2022 with Arch Enemy and Behemoth, I felt like her vocals are very drowned out by the music or by the instruments and very unclear.
Oh, okay.
And I felt the same way this night.
Okay.
So like I said, I don't know if it's
the mixing, maybe?
The mixing, or if it's the sound of the Vic and her like how her vocals come across in the Vic. And that's why I was asking if it was at the Vic as well that we saw Behemoth, which I thought it was. But I was just like, I like her vocal range. It's so good because she can do like melodic, she can do growls. She was maybe the first female vocalist that we saw back when we saw Alma Marth with her Arch Enemy that did growls.
Probably, yes.
Like in 2017-ish, 2018-ish?
2018, 2019. Yeah, because I mean, it was 2017 we saw them at open air, so it would have been 18 or 19. Yeah. I think 19. Okay. And then, of course, then it's Spirit Box and Ginger afterwards that have the mix of growls and clean and whatnot, right?
Yeah, because I mean, I think we've said this multiple times on the podcast. I'm not a very big female vocalist fan. I don't like a lot of female vocalists. I just don't like the normal female singing. Mm-hmm. So I normally gravitate towards like Enthos or Arch Enemy or Ginger or something like that, where it has the more vocal range that can be done. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know what it is about the Vic sound, but I noticed again this night, and I was just like, oh, it's kind of disappointing that. And I understand like mixing on like the album and Spotify and stuff's totally different.
The mastering of the actual album's going to be different.
I understand,
can balance things a little better and whatnot.
Yeah, but I mean, even talking about just sound in venues, like we saw Whitechapel at the Radius last year, I think, September maybe.
Yes, with Lorna Shore.
With Lorna Shore, yeah. Was that last September?
It was last year. I can't remember.
Sometime. Yeah,
it was still kind of warm, so September, October, somewhere in there.
Yeah, and I thought Phil's voice from Whitechapel was just horrible as well. Like it was just so drawn out. So I don't know if it's just sometimes the venue or how the sound is or whatever.
But you didn't think about that. I'm trying to say this like I don't want to be like, you didn't think poorly of the other singers, did you? Like not that you're thinking poorly of her, just like.
And I don't think it's poor on her at all. I think it's just how her vocals.
But you don't have the same comments for the other singers. No. So maybe it's just the pitch and tone of her voice.
Fit For An Autopsy, whenever the melodic parts were like sorry, I don't know what his name is, but whenever he sings the melodic parts, I couldn't. That was so toned out as well.
Yeah, I got that too. I did get that.
Drowned out. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like drowned out by the music.
Yeah, the volume of the melodic parts were much lower than the volume of...
And I just, maybe at the Vic, it's hard to get that vocal range from melodic to...
And it could be. It is like, as
growls.
we said, like a very old building, right? So you either have to like shout or have the music tuned down to not overpower the vocals. Want that. You do not want that, no.
So anyways, that's just something that I've noticed now, seeing Arch Enemy twice. So seeing them at Milwaukee Metal Fest, I'm very interested.
Do you know what stage they're playing? Are they the main stage?
Yeah.
Or are they
they're right before Guar on the main stage.
Okay.
So
that'll be fun.
Yeah. So the ballroom stage, that's what the main stage is. So the ballroom. So I'm excited to see Arch Enemy again and see if I see the same type of vocal range thing.
I guess I kind of sort of got that from this performance as well. I guess I can kind of see it. Again, I was going through my own shit, so wasn't necessarily paying the fullest attention to details and whatnot.
You're focusing on not dying.
The one thing I did notice, there was a couple of moments where it felt like, and I don't necessarily know Arch Enemy's songs all that well outside of like the main songs.
War Eternal.
War Eternal, for sure. The Eagle Flies Alone, for sure.
Yeah.
But there was a moment I thought where either the drums fucked up or the guitar fucked up.
Oh, really?
There was a part where it was sort of like a almost a scratch, like a record scratch type thing.
That, yeah.
Of like somebody got off key or somebody fucked up and didn't play the right note, or like, oh shit, I forgot that part.
Yeah.
Because even after like they got done, like the two guitarists were next to each other talking and like playing, and then they kind of turned to each other. One smiled, like I think he said like, I fucked that up. Like that's kind of how I had that in my head.
Yeah.
But I took it as like the drums missed a beat or something. The next song had another little moment like that. I can't remember exactly where it was in the set. But the next song sort of have another similar moment to that. So I did remember that. The other thing I remembered is Jeff Loomis, one of the guitar players that we first saw with them with that Amon Amarth show, isn't there anymore. He was the blonde James Hetfield looking dude. I was like, holy shit, this guy looks like James Hetfield when he was a teenager. Turns out the guy's like in his fucking 60s. So, but from the distance, he looked very young when we saw him.
Okay.
He's no longer in the band. And I was a little disappointed by that, and only because he was born in Appleton, Wisconsin. And a good friend of mine is born in Appleton, Wisconsin. Or maybe not born. I assume he was born. I don't fucking know.
He like went to school there or something.
He lived there forever. Yeah. That's where he calls home. His family still lives there. I went to a Streetlight Manifesto show last year, which they are a ska band. And I went there with a friend. We met up at a bar near the venue. That was at Riviera. And he's already at the bar, and he's already made friends with these fucking just randos sitting at the bar next to him, which, cool. I'm not that comfortable talking to random people. He clearly is. And I sit down, we're all chatting. Turns out these guys are from Appleton, Wisconsin. And my friend isn't from Appleton, but he's in like the suburb from around that area. Okay. So they all know each other. These two, like my friend and this other guy, like they know the same people. Like Matthew, my friend Matthew, worked at like a pizza place that this guy like always goes to, or vice versa. This guy works at the pizza place Matthew always went to. Vice versa, one of the two. Well, this guy was there, I think, with his dad or a good friend who was a little bit older. And he was telling me like, oh yeah, I know Jeff Loomis. He's a good friend of mine from back in college, like, or high school even. And yeah, he plays for this band Arch Enemy. I was like, I fucking know who Arch Enemy is. And like we started chatting, and he's like, yeah, metal's fucking awesome. That's like my favorite music by all time. But I do like ska too, so I'm here for this show. I was like, hey, that's fucking awesome. Metalheads, like, we explore other types of music. So I was kind of excited to see Jeff Loomis play as well, but he wasn't there. He hasn't been in the band, I think, since like 2023 or something like that. Yeah. So I completely forgot about that, but I was like, oh, the blonde guy's not up there anymore unless he dyed his hair black. But I doubt that. But also, he's not a teenager like I thought he was. He's definitely an older man, but I don't know. I also do want to look into Arch Enemy some more in terms of their members, because I think originally everybody was from Sweden.
Yeah, she's from Canada. Alyssa's from Canada.
So I wonder how many of these members are. And again,
like still from
I don't know Arch Enemy that well in terms of the members of the band, let alone the music.
Yeah.
But like, who's actually from Sweden? Are they still considered a Swedish band, or
they're according to Google?
But I mean, is that because that's where it was founded and then it sort of expanded and none of the original members are in it? I don't know.
I don't know how that works.
Could look that up before recording and learn some stuff, but we're not those types of people. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot more to say because I was going through my own fucking shit and whatnot, but I am glad I stayed for the whole thing because there were moments where I was like, I just want to fucking leave. I even thought about telling you, like, I'm going to go outside. You can stay inside. Even if I can't get back in, I'm fine with that. I just need to go outside, get some fresh air, cool down. I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I, slowly worked my way back and back and back and back as we, through the venue and whatnot, getting all the way to the back. Could still see it, could still hear great. But that helped me calm down, I think, as well. Definitely getting water fucking helped me calm down. I wish I didn't have to pay for the water. Afterwards, I did see like little jugs.
Oh yeah, there's like a jug that you can fill up a cone.
I probably could have done that, and that probably would have been perfectly fine.
Just stood there and like kept filling it up.
Because I mean, when at the forge, when I had my panic attack, you had to pay for water there too. Yeah. I think she could see my face. So like, just give him fucking what. She just gave it to me. So that was really cool. But no, I'm glad we stuck around. I'm glad we even got tickets for it. But it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun, yeah.
Seeing the first 3 openers alone made this worth it. Like, all 3 of them are fucking awesome. I wish I could have enjoyed Arch Enemy to its fullest extent, but I didn't. Oh, we didn't really talk about I was trying to sign off and I didn't, but the crowd sites. We've touched on this a lot during this. One thing that we kept talking about ourselves is, even us, we talked about not buying tickets to this because we were seeing them in Milwaukee Metal Fest.
Yeah.
I do wonder if that did play into the lower ticket sales for this.
Like, because it's on a Tuesday, and if people who are around the Milwaukee area are like, oh, I'm going to Milwaukee Metal Fest, it's like, why come down to Chicago on a Tuesday?
Yep.
When I'm going to see them in a couple weeks.
Yeah, just a couple of weeks, I'll see them again. Again, not a headlining set, but still going to be a pretty good fucking set.
And some people don't really care about that.
They don't. No, a lot of people don't. Yeah. I know.
I don't care about that sometimes.
No, I'm the same way. It's like
you bring it up all the time, so I figured you
it's just something to consider. That's the only reason I bring it up.
Oh, okay.
Because the set will be different also. Like, they're not going to play 17 songs.
No.
For that. We'll definitely get the big hits.
Yeah. So there'll probably be Deceiver,
War Eternal,
Blood Dynasty, because that's the album that I think that they're touring on right now.
The Eagle Flies Alone. Yeah. So like, you can probably go through this and it's going to be 7 of these 17 songs.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
So
I don't know. They might get a full hour because Avatar got a full hour and that's the same time slot.
Yeah.
So
7 to 10 songs, I'd say.
Yeah.
But in any case, like, it definitely was noticeable that the crowd wasn't there.
No, yeah.
And it was noticeable all night long, and not one band bitched about it. Every band fucking gave it their all, even though it wasn't a sold out house by any means. And the crowd fucking gave it their all as well, which was fucking awesome. So the only thing I can think of is for sure that, the big festival coming up in just a couple weeks.
Yeah.
The headliner will be there. None of the other bands, unfortunately, will be there this year, but maybe next year. I don't know. Maybe that's sort of one reason that led to sort of lower ticket sales or not being a sold out show.
Yeah.
So, that was the last little comment I had. I guess we can try to close out now, which is everything I just said, 2-3 minutes ago. Plus, we'll see you at the next show, hopefully.
Bye.